All right, thanks for staying with us. Omolola has joined us. Hi, Omolola.
Hi, Uwa. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you for my birthday gift.
You're welcome. You're very welcome.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's customer service. Let's discuss customers. I'm your customer, you know that. All right, so in today's internet-driven world, customers have more power than ever. If customers have a positive customer experience, they will share this experience with friends, family, and connections, which in turn can lead to a new business, right? All at zero cost. So, but what happens if you fail to provide a positive customer experience? The answer is simple. Your customer will complain. Now, according to research by Esteban Kolsky, 13% of unhappy customers will share their complaints with 15 or more people. Furthermore, only 1 in 25 unhappy customers customer complaint are directed, or they directly tell you the complaint. They don't tell you the complaint, they speak to other people, right? So in general, customers who are unhappy with your product or services will not complain to you directly, but they will complain to others and take their business elsewhere. So managing customer complaints and resolving them quickly will result in improved business processes and repeat business. So, and for customers that don't complain, they just stop doing business with you. The overwhelming majority, which is about 91% of unhappy customers who don't complain, simply just leave. So as a small business owner, how do you handle customer complaint? Now, that's the conversation we're having. Now, please, let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at PlusTvAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. So I wanted to hear your thoughts quickly, then I'll bring in Uti. Omolola. Customers, you know, you are in the customer service space as well, right? So that's why you are here. So give us a slight idea. What if we say we have an effective customer complaint mechanism or response mechanism, right? What would it look like?
Well, personally, or from experience?
Both. You can.
I would say, and that is particularly something that I notice with small businesses, is answer all your customers' questions before they ask.
Okay.
So if I'm going to make inquiries about your business, for instance, let's say I tried to patronize you on, say, any social, maybe Instagram, or I'm coming into your store, I expect that you know what I want to ask before I come in. I don't want to come in and start asking you questions. I have situations, or I've been in situations where I would maybe send a DM to a vendor. I would ask you, oh, how much is this? Is it available for delivery? And you're answering me questions one by one. And then the conversation drags. It doesn't really need to drag. I've had really excellent experience with really small businesses. And one key thing that I know that I've picked from my interaction with those vendors is they answer all my questions before I ask. They provide solutions to potential questions that I would ask. They've already provided solutions to, because they've been doing it for, even if they're small businesses, they've been doing it for a while. So they should know that this is what this person would need. Anyone that is coming to patronize you is coming for a specific reason. So before they even get to you, when they get to you, and after they leave your business, they need to have a pleasant experience, and they need to always have all their questions answered, all their inquiries fixed before they even ask. Okay,
so you're speaking to the experience in itself. So can you give us an instant of a complaint? Probably you laid a complaint to a business, and you know.
That's easy. That's easy.
Quick.
It's easy. So recently, I patronized a vendor online, and it's a funny story because I've interacted with this vendor from the beginning. I told them what I wanted. I sent you my address. And then I think one of the biggest problems that small businesses are having is delivery, dispatch delivery. I know that I've spoken with a friend who is a fashion designer, and she had mentioned that most small business owners don't have it easy because they have to be the social
control.
Yes, they have to be the one doing everything, and then there's some things that are beyond their control.
The logistics.
Exactly, so that's why customer experience is important, because if you can't control it, it's as easy as saying, I know that you're going to be upset, maybe because, maybe your delivery is going to take 2 to 3 working days. That's why you foresee the potential problem, and you know how to just rub the customer's head so that they will not get angry.
So you are even saying that before they get to the point of complaint,
just rub their head so they will not get angry. It's really that simple. That's why you see some people, even if the service is bad, even if the product is bad, they still keep going back to a specific brand because of the experience. So
even if there's a complaint. All right, so with experience in various disciplines, including customer experience, customer service, customer loyalty, digital marketing strategy, content development, and training, both in the public and private sector across 2 continents, Uti Ellu has been exposed to varied business styles, strategies, and approaches. She's our very own in-house expert. But we have to hype us more because it is not easy to be where she is. But thank you so much, Uti. Every time we call you, you're always available to discuss this matter.
Yeah.
Because you live, eat, breathe customer experience and customer service, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I mean, we started off that conversation, and we were talking off air the day we started this show, the part 1. And all of a sudden, when we got to customer complaint, everybody just said, that's another kind of worm. That's like another matter for another day, and all of that. So I've had very terrible customers. I have a small business, right? A skincare business. And I know how customers can really drive you up the wall. I mean, a particular customer, at some point before, when you purchase things, we are willing to take them back and all of that if it's in good condition. But we then noticed that a particular customer had bought something elsewhere, because what I sell is skincare. And there's a lot of fake products out there. So she had bought something somewhere and came to my store and bought the exact same thing. So what she then did was exchanged it and brought the one she had bought somewhere that was fake. And she wanted to now act like, oh, she was returning it because she didn't need it or whatever. The luck I had was that there's a particular style we do our labeling. And secondly, she was not smart enough to remove the label of where she bought the item from. That was the saving grace I had. So after that experience, I just said to my staff, don't take anything that leaves the store. So make sure you ask the customer several times, are you sure this is what you want to buy? Because once it steps out of the door, you can't come back with that product. But I mean, I've had so many battles, right? So I'm wondering, this is a big issue for me as a business owner. But here, I want to be able to service the customer, the complaint of, okay, maybe I purchased too much or I purchased in error and I want to return it back. But I cannot resolve that kind of a matter because now I'm trying to also protect the integrity of my business. So sometimes, yes, we want to serve customers. I mean, I'm talking now from a small business angle. We want to serve the customer, but we also need some level of integrity and trust to be able to even do that, reach that goal. But there are other kinds of businesses. I mean, my sister, when she wants to buy something, she buys plenty. So she bought maybe 10 pairs of shoes or something. And the shoes were horrible. You put your leg, the thing is open. So apparently it has stayed long in the store. And she told these people, okay, you know what do we do? They were not even willing. That's another business. They were not even willing to make any exchange, nothing. So she just ended up carrying the bag of the shoes and dropped it in the store and said, whatever you want to do with it, do with it. And she left it and she moved on. But she's never going back to that business again. So customer complaint is a big deal, right? But sometimes we as small businesses, we are considering what is the loss to us as a business. So it's difficult sometimes to resolve some kind of complaint. I'm just talking from a small business angle. So please help me, help my career.
It's interesting, right? There are multifaceted problems in what you've just talked about because there is a balance between wanting to serve the customer and wanting to protect your business. And one thing that we know is key for small businesses is cash flow. So money is your lifeline. You can't afford to, be doing this back and forth, losing money because you have some customers that have integrity issues. It's a real battle, right? And the first step actually starts from you recognizing that I have to have a plan, right? So I run a business today. As much as we talk about customer service and as much as we talk about it like it's the basics, you'll be surprised how many organizations haven't clearly defined how it will happen, what should happen. So you find, for example, with a lot of these social media entrepreneurs, right, they will run a promo. They've not looked at how the promo will impact their service points, the ordering, the production times, the delivery times. They will just come and dance on Instagram. Hey, it's sale time. 30%, 40%.
We have one amongst us.
30% off. You know what I mean? 30% off, 40% off. Then people are eager to buy. So You only thought about the experience and the sale from the monetary side, but you hadn't planned for the influx. That I'm going to get lots of calls. Did I get a few more people on hand to handle my DMs, to handle my calls? So what happens is they get overwhelmed, they get stressed, and then they get rude. Then you see them post messages on Instagram and say, oh, if you ordered on this day and you have paid, please send us a DM or please send us an email. You see immediately that there was a lack of a process. There was a lack of a thought towards it. So what should have then been a campaign to gain new customers and introduce your business now becomes a sour experience. So the onboarding is wrong. So what then happens is, if I really like your product, I'll struggle through it because the price is right. But I probably would never come back to buy from you, which means that you've actually lost the opportunities, the reason why you did the campaign in the first place. Because let's be clear, right? When we do sales, when businesses do sales, what are they trying to do? Particularly for the fashion vendors and things, they're trying to clear out old stock. That was the genesis of sales, because clothing is seasonal, abroad. So when winter comes, winter is over, I can't be selling coats in the middle of summer. So you do a sale, get it all out, and then the new stock comes in, right? You can also use it as an acquisition tactic. So there's so many things in that process that you need to think about. But if we come back to the area of complaints in itself, what is the genesis of the complaint? What is a complaint? If I come to your business to buy something, whether it be goods or services, I have an expectation of the value that you're going to provide to me, with which I will part with my money. As soon as there is a mismatch between my expectation of value and the value that you deliver, that's the gap that breeds the complaint. Now, once the complaint happens, if as a business you are not prepared, it just feels like somebody comes and tells you, I don't like my product. I don't like your product. Let's use the example you gave about the 10 shoes, right? If your mindset is, I've sold the shoes, woohoo, the money's in my account, you move on. And you've not stopped to say, okay, if this person doesn't like the shoes, what do we do? The day the person, like Omola says, I want you to think ahead. The day I come back and I say, actually, I've received the shoes, I don't like the shoes, then it is the blanket statement we usually get here, no refunds. I remember once I purchased shoes, and I remember telling the lady that, look, I believe I'm in between sizes. My feet are large, right? So I would like you to send both shoes with
so I can try
and all of that. And she out and out refused. And sometimes I understand, because Nigerian customers too.
Hey, Jesus, they need this. So.
We're special people, right? But it's hard sometimes when you say, it almost sounds like it's giving the benefit of the doubt, right? But for each business owner, and here's where it's important, how much is it worth to you to acquire new customers? How much is it worth to you to do all your Instagram ads, all those posts? They cost money. So as a business, you are spending money to acquire customers. You can do it in one or two ways. You can keep doing those things, right? And finding new customers who maybe buy once and go
never
away.
Come back again.
Or you can keep trying to build relationships with people.
And have repeat customers.
Yes. So when you come to that perspective of, how do I define my complaint? How do I deal with it? So she's come back to us today. It's two very different examples. Oh, the shoes I don't like the shoes. We don't do refunds. And there's the end of the conversation. She walked away. She never bought again. But remember, something you said was very key. She bought 10 pairs of shoes. A person that can afford to buy 10 pairs of shoes in one go is not a person any business wants to let go of. So when that kind of a person starts to tell you, I have issues,
you should pay attention.
Pay attention, right? And let's see, what can we come to? What don't you like about the shoes? So if you have a process that says, here's how we handle complaints. Omola said something. Think about, I want you to have answers to my questions and
ahead
preempt.
of time,
So if I've bought from you, there's an expectation that there may be a gap in the expectation of value. So the first thing every business must have is a defined complaint handling process, right? So how do we handle complaints in our business? So you've bought a bag from us. If you are not happy with this bag, here is what we would like you to do. We would like you to, within 10 days or 20 days or 28 days, come back to us with the bag in the same condition and tell us what was wrong with it, and here's what we will do. Very simple. Information that you can put out here. Here are the ways you can complain. You can come back into our store. You can give us a call on this phone number. You can chat our DM. You can, some people will say we don't answer to DMs. Some people say, you get what? So everybody, so you define clearly for each customer how and they can deal with their complaints. Then internally, what should we do when a complaint comes in? We must acknowledge the complaint within an hour, within 24 hours. When we acknowledge the complaint, we can tell the person, oh, we will get back to you in XYZ, so depending on the type, because it varies for businesses, right? If it's a product, it might just be that you bring the product back or you send the product back. But you must define it, and every member of your business, once you have any staff, must understand the process. Where the gaps usually lie is it comes in and nobody knows what to do. It's a new situation, it's a new scenario, and you haven't empowered your people, and that's what happens to a lot of small businesses. The owner of the business becomes everything: accountant, buyer, producer, social media person. So you're overwhelmed. So if you haven't planned for some of these things where you have, even if it's one staff that you've now hired as this person knows what to do. So I've hired somebody to handle my social media, and all these complaints are coming, and she's still calling me. Oh, this person said they had an issue with the product. Because you haven't empowered the person to be able to take care of the complaints. So at the very basic, define your complaint handling internally and externally.
Okay. That's a good way to take a break, because Uti, some of us, we defined it too. But I just have a feeling like customers in Nigeria, they don't respect small businesses. But we'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. All right, thanks for staying with us. Now, if you just tuned in, we're discussing customer experience for small businesses, and we're focusing on how to handle customer complaints. And we have our very own Uti Ellu. Now, remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-4663. You can also tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow. Amola, let me give you the floor to ask a question, because if I follow this matter, I will not even give you space. Go ahead.
So I like that you mentioned something relating to structure. You need to have a structure for handling complaints. But I mean, it's clear that most small business owners, it's not like they went to school or they took a course. They probably just decided, oh, I like wristwatches, or I like trinkets, I'm going to start selling them. I mean, I've done that, I do that. So, but a lot of these people don't particularly know the nitty-gritty of customer experience. Of some people, I mean, I've patronized people. I think I patronized a cake lady one time, and she was just so nice. She was naturally a nice person, so it was easy for me to keep coming back. So even when I had complaints, I wasn't angry with her. Like, oh, I understood that. Oh, she's such a nice person. I don't think she will make such a silly mistake. So this now drives the question back to creating structure for having an efficient customer experience, and also having something solid for customer complaints. How do they even begin to create that structure as a small business owner?
The first thing really is to think about it. So I was training a group of people, of salespeople, a few days ago, and I asked, if you've had an exceptional customer service experience, I'd like you to tell me about it. And the lady put up her hand and said, she dealt with an Instagram business. She bought a bag. When the bag arrived, the bag was smaller than what it appeared to be on in the picture. She messaged them. They responded immediately. They apologized. They said they would send her a dispatch to pick up the bag, and they would ensure that they sent her one that matched the picture exactly, and all of that happened within the space of 24 hours. So she told that story, and the first thing that came to my mind when I said to them, I said, do you see that we've even been so conditioned to the basics not even being there, that when you are talking exceptional, this is the story. That a bag I bought that didn't match my expectations was exchanged all within 24. Like anywhere else, that's pretty basic, right? So it doesn't take a lot to stand out, is the point. You don't need to be a customer experience expert. Everybody has been a customer. So to a certain extent, even from your own perspective as a customer, you know what good service means to you. So at least even start with that. What does it take for me to give a service to the standard that I would expect from another business? Let's not even go about bells and whistles. What would it take? What would I have to put in place? And very important, like I said, think about the costs to your business. You know, people will take certain things as sacrosanct. I need to do Instagram promos. I need to do online ads. I need to look for an influencer. All of these things are monies being spent. You can either choose to spend the money on marketing or you can choose to spend the money on customer experience. It's one of the two. You will then ask yourself which one will yield better.
What will be much more effective? I think
exactly.
The experience will be more effective. Because
So here's
you then
the thing.
have food soldiers that would promote your business for free.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So the fact is, you build you build a customer base that will keep coming back to you. I mean, this lovely kaftan that Uwa is wearing, it has become a default store that we go to. Why? Because the person that is there is so pleasant. She's so excited. When she doesn't see you, she reaches out. I haven't seen you. When she has new stock in store, she says, I have new stock. So top of mind, right? You are always in the customer's face.
And when there's a complaint,
Do you get what I mean? When we had issues with the fabric, she said, bring it. We will change it. That's how you build. So even now, I have sold, I have advocated, I have taken many people to that store. It is beyond the product now. It is down to the experience. She could do that, or she could keep spending money on Instagram to find new people, as opposed to making my own experience so exciting that I keep bringing people, that I keep saying, have you tried this? You need this. Oh, I can recommend. That's where you want to get to. So it's a decision. And like I said, for small businesses, it can be tough because money is tight. So you say, I feel like I need to be out there. I need to be running online ads. Sometimes you just need to be talking to your customers.
Absolutely.
Spend that money on emails to your customers, SMSs to your customers. The customers that slid into your DM to buy, slide back into their DMs.
and tell them you have new stock.
Because they're still there.
Exactly.
So Uti, I said something before one on the break. Businesses in Nigeria, I realized that Nigerians don't respect small businesses. So they will walk into the big malls, right, to buy things from the big stores. And there's a way they comport themselves. So even if you buy something that is probably not whatever, right, the first thing you're quick to do is to go and look for the receipt. I do that a lot. I go and read the receipt because I recently bought something. They sold a wrong thing to me. I checked the receipt. I saw the return policy, and I made sure I was within the return policy. What's it called? But with small businesses, because you feel like, oh, it's one corner store at the junction, you can always do what you feel like. So we already had a rule. The lady that bought, she bought a level of a skincare range. We have rules that you cannot return. She not only break the rule, it's the effrontery, because now you are not supposed to return it. She calls up my staff, and again, I hear you, that part of educating your staff. I think this one was the biggest problem that I had with that particular staff, and she's no longer with me. She calls the staff and says, oh, that's something, she doesn't need the blah, blah, blah anymore. I told the staff, why are you calling me? But you know the rules now, that you're not supposed to, she's not supposed to, once it leaves the store, you cannot take it back. Do you know the person did not even come till 7 days later? Uti. 7 days later. Would you try this if you were dealing with the big shopping mall? Let's be honest. Nigerian businesses, it's like the customers, they test your patience as a small business. It's true. Me, I'm not here for customer today. I'm here for small business. It's like they test your patience, right? Would you do that if you were buying something and probably you know the rules now? When you go abroad to shop, for instance, a Primark, they used to take underwears before until they realized that because of all these hygiene issues and everything, they don't even take. So if you buy it, just know that you go and look for who to dash. Do you understand? So the point I'm trying to make is, there are some rules you will respect because you think, oh, it's a big mall and, you know, there is a big business. But once they just have this idea that, oh, this is a small business or a small skincare business, they try to want to break your rules. So you as a small business, you know, it's always difficult for you to want to now, you will come on the defensive handling those kind of complaints because you're already, madam, you are bringing this thing. First of all, you called and you're not bringing it 7 days later. Who is going to take it from you? Okay. So, the thing is still in the store there. In the nylon where she kept it, it's still there. As any year she comes, she will collect it that year.
So the question for me is that when she called, what was she told? First and foremost, I agree with you, right? It's only natural. If you see a really big dude, the giant, before you pick a fight, you think clearly. When you see the little guy, you be like, I can push this one around now. So it's natural. It's only natural. But it then comes to, again, how a business positions itself, right? If somebody comes into your store, it's all scattered, it clearly looks like you don't have any structure, you are just selling like you're in a market, of course I'm going to think, let me try now. But when you come into a store and someone says, oh, good morning, ma, welcome to so-and-so, how may I help you today? I want this, oh, this is what we can do for you. There's a level of professionalism that the customer too will be like, it's like these people, they speak a lot of English. Do you get what I mean? Then that kind of customer, like you said, at the back of your receipt, it was clearly stated, bring it back within 28 days, bring this receipt, and we will deal with it. So in your case, when she called, what was she told? In what manner was she told? There's a way you will tell somebody that, look, I'm so sorry, like this is our policy. But again, with customers like that, right, I always believe in engagement.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, we don't take these goods back. May I ask why you want to return it? What is the problem? Is it defective? You don't want it anymore? You don't like it? So we can begin to explore. I don't have to take it from you, but I can maybe advise you what to do with it. Right?
Uti.
Never
jam customer. You're talking like you're talking to the same people.
Like,
go ahead.
There won't be. No, I'm not saying there won't be outliers. Trust me, I've been working with Nigerian customers, if nothing, at least for almost 10 years now. I know how just not wishing somebody happy birthday can change the tone of your day. I know. So I'm not saying that this is utopia. What we're talking about today is how to empower businesses. You will have customers that will come. And let me tell you something. You have to position your business in a way that customers will respect your business. And then people need to understand, right, that if you've been abroad, what is one sign that you see everywhere in businesses? Our staff have a right to respect. You cannot abuse our staff. You cannot touch our staff. If you do, it's a problem for you.
Yeah.
We've had situations where you walk a customer out of the store. And this is the thing that I say to small businesses. Please be clear that not every customer is your customer.
Okay.
So once somebody comes to you and tells you...
she's not my customer.
Once somebody comes to you and tells you that this thing that you're selling for 40,000, I want to buy for 10,000. I'm so sorry, I cannot sell it to you for 40,000. I can recommend you a 10,000 naira one. But this one, if you want to buy it at 40,000, then let's talk. If I have room to say, okay, as a first-time buyer, I can give you 2% off. Let's talk. But you can't come into my store and dictate. What happens is a lot of small businesses, because they want the sale, they start to swing. They don't stand strong, right? So it's like, I really need this business. I really want to bring in this customer. But the minute you do it once, you set a precedent. So every time I come, I'll be like, okay, let me negotiate. But there's truly no negotiating. So from the place of utmost respect, this is my price.
Okay, let's take comments. We have plenty questions.
I have a question just before I take my comment.
Sure.
And it's to, you said not everyone is your customer. So at what point during an interaction with the customer do you say, this person, I know they do it again.
No, that one. It's not my customer.
So, at what point?
Again, from the point at which you start to interact with a customer, you can tell a difficult person miles away, right? When you start to interact with a person, and it's not to say that, oh, just walk away from every difficult customer, but there are certain things. The quality of your product, the price of your product, the process. So if I tell you delivery is in 3 days and you tell me you want it in 1 day, I am so sorry. I can't do it.
Yeah.
But people will say, oh no, let me try. Then
you will not start fighting.
36 hours later,
on
we now start fighting. But I told you I wanted it in a day. Oh, I said I could. Then you now start explaining, it was my delivery guy. It was not me. There was a reason why you said 3 days in the first place. If you want to say exceptionally, oh, I want to make it different, then you do it in a way that is outside of your normal process. Maybe instead of using a delivery guy, I will just call Uber to take it to you.
Yourself.
Do you know what I mean? But we tend to find that a lot of small businesses, because every dime is important, you start going like this. Big business is, you have closed. There's no door I'm opening for you. Small business, come, let me just
9 o'clock. You say
So it's not make exceptions.
But don't be staying in the store 10 because you want to service a customer.
Yeah.
Uti, God will help us.
Amen.
Let's take comments. Hi, ladies. On the show, I am really enjoying your discussion tonight. Uti is really grounded in the subject matter. I say, wait, it's like you don't understand. Because she's coming to sit down here, you think she's a small madam. She's a big madam. Uti is really grounded in the subject matter of customer service. She's doing justice to it. It's good to have her in the studio after a while. You guys are excellent in this business of good talk. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Mr. Wayamdi. Take your comment.
All right, so I have good evening, ladies. Happy birthday to you, Ua. Please send my cake. Uti, you are very beautiful, smart, and intelligent. Please, how can one deal with a difficult customer? This is from Mr. Idris.
That's a fantastic question. I love that question every time I get it. There are different types of difficult customers, let's be clear. There are the customers who are very, very angry. There are the customers who are exceptionally knowledgeable. There are the customers who are so timid. So there are different types of difficult customers. There are the customers that they just now. Everything you say is now. There's a different strategy for each customer.
Yeah.
Most times people will say, oh, how do I deal with the irate customer, the shouting customer? Those ones are actually the easiest ones to deal with.
Actually.
A customer who is upset, who is yelling, what usually happens is the minute a customer goes, rah, we're so sorry, I'm so sorry, please, I'm very sorry, I'm so sorry. Then the customer will tell you, what are you apologizing for? Your sorry does nothing for me. And then you're telling yourself, what do I do? And this happens, and this is a key thing for a lot of businesses. When a customer is angry, what should you do? Remember what we said a complaint was. There is a gap in the value. What you need to understand is, what was that gap? In the middle of all this shouting, first identify, and it's not personal. Most times when a customer is shouting, everybody's afraid, right? So, and it's natural. It's like fight or flight mode, right? So a customer comes in, they're angry, they're shouting. Your superpower at that point is listening. In the midst of all that, you are mad, you are crazy, you're going to punish all of you.
You'll be hearing the real complaint. Yes.
I've told you people 3 times, I've come here, I've did it. What usually happens most time is that the shouting disorganizes you.
So that's you
don't hear anything.
You must open your ears to listen.
So the person will now have shouted. When he now slams down, he now say, hey, sorry sir, what is the problem? Shouting will now kick in again.
So you mean all the
you get what I mean? So it is a case, and this is where, if you look at bigger organizations, when we train, we do role play. We put people in those hot situations so that you can get used to it. So you find that, okay, people, most times when you see, particularly the frontline staff, when you start shouting, they're like deer in the headlights. Let me go and call my supervisor. So for those kind of situations, you are listening. When a person comes in shouting, you are listening. It's not the time to try and interject how sorry you are. You don't know what you're sorry for. Be quiet until, so it is, I'm trying to keep, in terms of non-verbal contact, I'm listening to you, I'm paying attention, you can see that I am listening to you, you know, I'm engaging with you. I'm not speaking, but from body language, I'm engaging with what you're saying. Then the person now gets to a point where, if you're on the phone, the person will say, are you there? Are you listening to me? Or this one that you're not saying anything. Sir, I'm just waiting for you to say everything that you would like to say. What I hear you say is, this is the problem, this is what has happened, you've done X, Y, Z, you've not gotten value. Can I do this for you? It takes practice. I'm saying it because it's my life. It's been my life for over 20 years. But it really is. That's what it is. So, and again, remember that in the midst of that, and that's what key thing in Nigeria, it's not acceptable for a customer to abuse you. It's not acceptable for a customer to be violent, no matter how angry you are. I am here to serve you.
She wants to do jazz. She wants to shake. She wants to bring.
Yeah, I'm here to serve you. And a lot of businesses need to protect their staff.
Yes.
I'm here to serve you. I'm not here to be abused by you. It is okay. We are sorry that things went wrong, and we're here to put it right. Does not give you the right to want to kill me.
Let's take comments, yo. Says, good evening, ladies. I always enjoy your shows at Uti. Welcome back. Oh, happiest birthday. Keep soaring. Thank you so much, Gift of 4. I have a comment. I'll take your comment quickly. That one is quite long.
Okay, so we have, this is Austin from Delta. I join other well-wishers to wish Uwa happy birthday.
Thank you.
So on this issue, I want to know how to handle stubborn or mischievous customers without harming the business. For instance, let's take the complaint shared by Uwa. That was a dubious act, but Uwa didn't tell us whether there was a shouting match. I was at a corporate company that deals on computers and accessories in Asaba, where a customer barged in shouting on top of his voice, and attention was turned to the disruption. It was left backing, and when I quietly inquired, a staff told me to let him back. Thank God the cameras were on. I left there not happy or be ready to do business because that complaint was not well managed. What do you say, please?
So the let him back, right, was that I allowed him to speak. Remember I said that the non-verbal, so the customer came in screaming, we give him attention. So we rally round. We're all listening. What's the issue? And he keeps on yelling. And we're listening. We're there. We're not trying to say, oh, we're sorry, sir.
If not the one that will tell you, sir, babe, when you shout finish, you'll carry yourself.
No, but that's the way now. So you come in shouting. Yeah, it's not a matter of let him back. Yes, we need to let him speak, right? But you still need to hear what the problem is. Remember, a solution you are driving. The matter is plenty.
Matter cannot finish. It's a complaint matter. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? In a nutshell, the business we run should be the type that will satisfy our customer to maintain a consistent patronage. If there is a complaint, we must tackle it orderly. Happy birthday to you, my dear beautiful sister Osayiwame aka Uwa. Thank you so much. Today I appreciate and celebrate you. And you add spice to the show. We celebrate a wonderful and beautiful, amazing anchor of one of the best shows on TV. Wow.
Thank you.
All the wonderful blessings of God. Yes, so be your portion.
Amen.
This day and beyond in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Daniel.
That's Daniel.
Yes, so our Daniel, our very own Daniel. You see, when Daniel complains, I respond immediately. When you say I don't read your message, I read it. But Uti, this conversation, we shall have a part 3. Because it seems like complaint is a lot deeper than I thought. Because you see, that part of the body language is what they miss. Because I get the part that you need to let them vent, right? But there's a body language like, I bet when you finish it, they go.
That's the thing. So like you said, the non-verbal communication is very important. I was listening to a call the other day, and the man was telling him, your product doesn't work. I don't like it. I'm so sorry, sir. What are you sorry about? At that point, did you ask him what he doesn't like? Can I collect your feedback? Can I pass it along? Can I come back to you to say, okay, this thing that you don't like, perhaps you're not using it the right way, or we've solved the issue. Get to the cocoa of the matter.
On that note, thank you so much, my customer experience expert. I bow to your wisdom. Thank you, Omolola, for bailing us out. Now, before we go, ensure you follow us on all our social media platforms. That way, Show Africa. You can interact with us further, drop a comment. More importantly, follow engagement on social media. Like, share, and invite your families and friends to watch and follow the conversation. If you have businesses, you should reach out to Uti. I don't know if she's going to charge you people, but she will consider ways.
I will respond.
You will respond. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. When a customer complains, he or she is doing you a special favor. He is giving you another chance to serve him to his satisfaction, and that's the truth, right? So do not take it like the person just wants to. But those wishy customer, we are coming for you. Our part 3.
The rights of the customer is part 3.
See you guys on Monday as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.